All right, well, I'm just going to get on with it since I don't know what I'm doing anyway, and we'll just see what happens. So, I just wanted to address a few questions that I get quite frequently regarding tax liens and the offer and compromise process. So, I have about questions that I wanted to answer so that way I can eliminate answering the same question again over and over in my inboxes. So the first one is, how do I come up with an amount to offer the IRS? And the person that asked this question was referring to the offer and compromise program that the IRS has. Um, the way that I come up with an amount to offer is by doing a technical analysis of my client's income, expenses, assets, and their other liabilities, including state taxes. So, what I do is I gather all of that information and come once I come up with what their excess income or lack of disposable income is on a monthly basis, I compare that to what the IRS standard says is a reasonable amount that they can afford to pay. So if the reasonable amount they can afford to pay is lower than the tax debt, then that's what the minimum offer is going to be. So it's technical, but that's just a broad overview of how that works. So it's kind of a hybrid between what the IRS wants you to pay and what you can actually afford to pay. There has to be some sort of happy medium, and that's where the compromise comes in, right? Um, Another question I get a lot is regarding federal tax liens. People all the time talk about they have a tax lien, they can't sell their home, but that's really a big misconception on the way tax liens actually work. So, tax liens are not attached to a property, the tax lien is actually attached to the person. So, it can actually, the property or the home can actually be discharged from the tax lien, and that would be referred to as a partial discharge. And basically, all the taxpayer needs is a competent representative to coordinate between the IRS, the IRS's tax lien department, the real estate agent that is selling the home, and the title company or the attorney that's doing the closing to make sure to come up with an offer with the client, to get the offer accepted or negotiate with the IRS until there is an agreement between the taxpayer and the Internal Revenue Service, and to coordinate the simultaneous closing of the home and release of the lien. Um, it's it's a lot of intricate moving parts involved in it, but it can work as long as you have someone competent to keep it moving. Let's see what else we have. I have, can the IRS take my retirement savings to pay my debt? And that answer is yes. If you have access to those funds, then yes, the IRS can take that money or can require you to use those funds to pay your debt. Otherwise, there could be no agreement if you're trying to settle the debt. So it's not a problem until you have more funds than the actual tax debt, because that obviously means you can actually afford to pay the IRS. So in that case, an offer in compromise or a partial pay installment agreement would not be, I mean, it just would not be feasible, wouldn't be a good idea. And that's the sort of thing that I find out before we even get to that point. We do the analysis first to see whether or not an offer in compromise or another tax resolution service would benefit you. On the other hand, though, if you have a retirement plan where you're not vested or you're not allowed to take a loan or you can't access it until you're retired, well, then it might be in the IRS's best interest to work with you on an offer and compromise, because they may actually run out of time to collect the debt. So they would rather take something now than let the collection statute of limitations run out and then get nothing. And lastly, this one I get a lot. The question is, I'm eligible to file bankruptcy. Will that get rid of the tax lien? And that answer is no. Bankruptcy does not get rid of a tax lien. It only discharges you from having to actually pay the debt, but the lien is going to survive a bankruptcy typically. Um, So again, it's a situation where you could go ahead and file bankruptcy to get rid of the debt. And if you have other debts, that might be a good idea. But just for a federal tax lien, no, I wouldn't do that because the lien would still have to be resolved if you wanted to do something like sell a property. So, and the only way to resolve it is either to let the statute of limitations run out, or you would have to pay the debt in full or compromise the debt, which basically means settle with the IRS. So that's it for now. If you have any questions in particular about your specific situation, go ahead and click the link in the description box and schedule a free consultation with me, and we can get the ball rolling in the right direction if you have any tax debt issues going on at all. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.